What kind of a city is Stamford? One that's vibrant, resilient, resourceful, and endlessly reinventing itself. In the 18th century, Stamford was known as a shipping center. By the 19th century, industries began to spring up. The entrepreneurial spirit has always been evident in Stamford. Yale and Town with their famous lock, Pitney and Bowes with their postage meter. A post-World War II Stamford emerged as the research city with the arrival of CBS Labs and audio tapes. The vision to redevelop the downtown created an economic engine that paved the way for the corporations of the 60s and 70s and built the foundation for modern Stamford's thriving economic and social core. Stamford has a diverse population, a major transportation hub, universities, magazines, web-based businesses, museums, and theaters. In 2009, Michael Pavia became the 30th mayor of Stamford. The city was facing severe financial challenges, and the national economy was only getting worse.
You have to understand that I came out of a business that built things, and now I'm going into government now in the worst recession since the Great Depression, the worst economic times. The challenges facing the city budget were daunting. We had a $20 million shortfall that we had to make up. Our AAA rating was starting to teeter a little bit because of our rainy day fund depletion. But unfortunately, the only way to bridge the gap was to cut costs. And the only cost center that had any meaningful effect was in employees. We had to cut, I believe the total number was 117 positions, which were split down the middle between vacant positions and live bodies here. And unfortunately, that probably was the hardest thing that I ever had to do from a business standpoint, to lay off people. All in all, I think the first chapter, which was a shocker, led to a lot of good things happening in terms of how we manage, how we budget, and how we tax going forward.
In addition, the city had to cope with unprecedented hurricanes and other weather events. New emergency preparedness plans were immediately created and put in place. Stamford's Emergency Operations Center was updated. Continuity of operations plans were created, as was Code Red Stamford, which keeps residents informed in the event of emergency situations or critical community alerts. Those plans were put to the test when Hurricanes Irene and Sandy became two of the worst to hit our region in over 100 years. A community emergency response team was created and is training citizens to serve as emergency volunteers. Public safety has always been the #1 priority of the Pavia administration. Stamford's police department and fire and rescue units keep the city safe, as does Stamford Emergency Medical Services, the only nationally accredited ambulance service in Connecticut. All of these efforts continue to pay off. Stamford is the safest city in New England and the 15th safest city in the United States. In response to a tragic fire that resulted in the loss of 5 lives, the mayor spearheaded the passage of an ordinance requiring both smoke and carbon monoxide detectors in every home. Stamford's Department of Health and Social Services provides a broad range of services to promote healthy lifestyles. Stamford is proud of its Heart Safe Community designation.
Check, call, and compress.
In August 2012, more than 5,100 people were trained in hands-only CPR, setting a Guinness U.S. record. Do you remember your first job? The Mayor's Youth Employment Program began with 30 students who embarked on not only their first job, but a journey of instilling self-confidence, teamwork, and responsibility.
This is a really great resource for the youth in our city, just to get this professional exposure and to learn about how to present yourself.
At first I actually wanted to be a social worker, but now I think I might take a career in marketing because I like how exciting it is.
It gave me a lot of experience into what goes on in a business, and it really showed me what to expect once I start entering the career world.
How does one define civility? To answer that question, Mayor Pavia brought in experts from around the country.
It's also my personal call to make Stamford the most civil city in America. And I know that is a call that we will all answer.
Policing has always had a difficult task. to enforce the law, but the challenge for the police is always in that enforcing to not break the law, and that enforcing to be respectful, civil.
Civility costs us nothing, and yet means so very much.
We have to learn how to transcend our differences in order to make the system work. And that's what civility is all about.
Stamford's Virtual Government Center debuted and made the city's website interactive and user-friendly. You can even pay your tax bill online. From the northern reaches of Stamford at the Nature Center, where you can interact with animals, to Stamford's coastline, where recreation, beaches, and marinas beckon you, Stamford is home to its own ballet company, symphony orchestra, restaurants that span the globe of world cuisines, and for visitors, more than 2,000 hotel rooms. Everything that makes Stamford the place to be. The Wall Street Journal says, downtown Stamford, Connecticut is gaining traction and becoming a 24-hour community with retail, housing, and nightlife. The mayor and his administration have been active promoters of Stamford, reaching out to our sister city in Lima and our newest corporate arrivals at the Olympics in London. Even the New York Times celebrated the new look of Stamford's Transportation Center.
I think we're on the precipice of really crossing over to being the greatest city on the East Coast in terms of growth, in terms of diversity.
This is, without a doubt, the most incredible place to live, to visit, and to call home.
It's a very vibrant city, and with everything that's going on and the transformation that we've seen.
If I'd have to say there's probably one word that describes the city of Stamford, I'd say dynamic.
I see the city of Stamford as being innovative, and I do see the city of Stamford being a model for all cities to follow.
I really believe the best is yet to come for the city of Stamford.
The town of Stamford has been very supportive of us as an agency and our mission.
There's 100 and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 136 different ethnic backgrounds in this one city. So it's a passionate place. I love it.
Over the years, Stamford's neighborhoods have grown and changed to meet the needs of its residents and visitors. Our current development and our unique value proposition have attracted leading companies to the city that works.
Part of our mission here is to build a corporate headquarters for a new global company. And so one of the important considerations for us was, were there people with the skill sets that we would need to staff up a new corporate headquarters? And we've hired scores of people, and we're continuing to hire more from the Stamford area, and we've been very, very happy with the people.
We wanted ready access to mass transit because a lot of people come in and out of New York City, and we wanted a place where people can live. So you have a combination of sort of urban, suburban, rural, all in one place. And Stamford was the key.
We chose Stamford because of its openness to working with us as we build a unique sports television facility and business. We also chose Stamford because of its central location and its openness to our employees and the ability for our employees to both have the benefits of an urban lifestyle but also a suburban living situation if they chose. And having both of those in one place was a very unique opportunity for us.
We looked at Amsterdam, we looked at London, we looked at Atlanta, and we looked at Stamford at the end. Those were the 4 finalists, and we chose Stamford ahead of all those others.
Proximity to New York was very important. Proximity to an airport, because we're an international company, we need to have significant airlift to get in and out. Good infrastructure, an environment that was a combination of city for our younger people, suburban for couples, and even a bit of rural. So you have just a terrific combination of things.
The mayor and his staff and the entire city were very open and welcoming. They made us feel like this was a place that we should be. They knew we already had a base of business here, and they encouraged us to look around. And they also spent a lot of time talking to us about the changes that they've been making and the growth that they've had here with the infrastructure of the city and the accessibility that our employees would have. And they made it very easy for us to choose Stamford.
During the last 3 years, we've all worked collaboratively to make Stamford one great city. With our rich resources, our strong economic base, our cultural amenities, and our diverse population, there's no better place than the city of Stamford. Just look around.